Let me show you some examples of shooting in each of these situations. So let's talk about situation 1, where you're shooting in f16 or f11, and that's just bright and nasty light. Why is it? Is because that type of light produces very sharp shadows. And when you have sharp shadows, especially across the face, and that highlight can create what they call raccoon eyes, where your eyes are inset into your face, and so when the light is high, it's going to create a shadow over your eyes, calling that raccoon eyes. It takes an immense amount of light to get those shadows out of the eyes out. So therefore, you're going to have to use a very, very strong light. And so it's very tricky to shoot in this, but one rule that you always have to remember, if you keep the nose towards the light, it's going to be a lot easier to get that right lighting on your portrait. Because if you're using very, very bright light and that nose is pointed away from the light, your face will be in complete shadow. And if there's no light on your face, man, it's going to be very tough in Photoshop or in Lightroom to actually get that photo to look correct. You're going to have to maybe overexpose your background a lot just to make the face exposure come out. So it's important and imperative to, when shooting in bright light, to always keep your nose towards that light. So look at this situation here, and this photo, you can see I was shooting at, let's see, what's the camera setting on this? I was shooting at f11 light, okay? So I'm shooting at f11 here. My camera setting was at f1.8 or 1/4000th of a second. And you can see that this light firing on the subject in that bright light looks fine. This light, the CLX-8, is very powerful, and you're able to shoot in the brightest, nastiest lighting situations. Here's another situation where I'm actually shooting in f16. What are my camera settings? I'm at 1.8, f1.8, ISO 100 at 1/8000th of a second. And so it's very, very bright light here, and I'm using the Stella 8000 to light my subject up. This light also has an option to put a Fresnel on it, and the Fresnel will also focus the light in a little bit smaller area and actually make it stronger too. And so in that particular shot, you can see how her face is brighter than the rest of her body. That's because I put the Fresnel on this video light to make it a bit stronger and focus the light. This is a Fresnel, and what this does is I put this in front of my Stella light, and it will focus the light and make it narrower and also stronger. So if you want to get a bit more punch from your light, you can always put a Fresnel on to focus it and just get some more light output from it. Here's another situation where I'm shooting at f11. My camera settings are at f1.8 and 1/4000th of a second. And what I'm doing is I'm setting my background first in my camera. My subject is dark, and then I'm adding the Stella light to make that exposure be at least as bright as my background. Generally, I like to have my subject a little bit brighter than my background so my subject will stick out. Now I'm shooting in a bright light situation in Hawaii, and you can see here from this behind the scenes setup that my subject is very, very dark because the light behind her is so bright. If I were to actually have some clouds in my background during this shot, I'm going to have to turn my exposure way up because the light and the sun is so bright. So look at this next photo. I'm shining this light, the CLX-8, on her. I am at f16. My camera settings are f1.8 at 1/8,000th of a second. So that's some very, very bright light situation, but this light is able to handle this light. I'm not able to put a diffuser on it because when you put a diffuser and make that light a bit softer, you're gonna lose 2 stops or you're gonna lose 4 times the power. And if you were to cut 4 times the power, there's no way I'm gonna be able to match my background exposure with this type of light. Here's another bright light situation where I'm shooting a couple. It's in the same location. My settings are f8 at 1/60th of a second and at ISO 100. So as this sun, as you can see, is going behind the clouds, it's losing some power. And so I do not need as much power as before when the sun wasn't being covered by the clouds. And so now I'm able to get this kind of magmod grid look through my light because I can put my Fresnel on this light and narrow that beam, and I can just light up the top half of my subject and let it fade. And so when this type of lighting is great because your subject really sticks out, their faces, because why? It's brighter than the rest of their body. And so it's a cool lighting effect that a lot of people use. Just to clarify, a magmod grid is an accessory a lot of people put on their flash. And what it does is it narrows the light just like what a Fresnel would do when I put it on my Stella light. So it helps keep that light contained in a specific area because when you fire your flash, typically that light goes all over the place. So the magmod really narrows it just like what a Fresnel would do. So that's how I shoot in very bright light situations. And most of the time, I am gonna put my CLX-8 or my CLX-10, which is 8,000 to 10,000 lumens on full power and with my Fresnel on. So typically my light is on full power and I'm about 3 feet to 6 feet from my subject. Okay, let's go on location. Let me show you how I shoot in the real world in bright light.